talk about a lot of things, but I want to echo something that that Bong said. We're all passionate, and we should be, or we should not be in the seats that we're in as mayors of our city. We represent a certain constituency. Each one of us have different needs, different priorities, because we have different constituents. Some are rural, some are urban, and the county has different needs as well. And so I recognize that as a mayor, and my job is to fight for the people who elected me, just like Mayor Beltran, your job is to fight for the people who elected you. And so that's why we're here. I did want to share some good news and then have a couple talking points. You know, back in 2021, we had a PCI rating of 60 in our city. And we have since done some studies, and we did some work in terms of some targeted maintenance, slurry seals, hot patch. We worked on about 10% of our network of roads of the 1,800 miles. We used some American Rescue funds, and you know, obviously Measure C funds. But we went in just 4 years, and then we have some new development that pays its own way. Because when we have new development in our city, 100% of it is paid for by new developers, not just the roads that go in, but the ongoing maintenance. So our PCI went in just 4 years with no increase in Measure C from 60 to 64. So I have no doubt that as this measure goes from where it is today, the amount of the percentage, all the way up to 65%, we're going to see some incredible things. And especially if we have targeted maintenance, slurry seals. You know, we saw on the slide earlier today that the sooner you fix the road, the less road degradation you have, the less cost you have. So if we're strategic, I think we're going to go a long way as a city. As I said, in 4% in 4 years, that's incredible for us as a city. The second thing is this, that the first measure that was brought in back in 1986, it was 75% regional spending, 25% for local roads. And they really just combined them into those two categories. And those monies were used to build a lot of freeways, 168, 41, 180, and I use them every day. I love our freeways. Those are good things, right? They relieve traffic congestion. We all use them. Here's the bad thing. Those freeways allowed for urban sprawl, and they allowed for areas to be built before their time. And what that did to the city of Fresno is it took away from our infill housing, our ability to build and create density. It's a lot easier to build from the inside out than it is from the outside in. And so today the question is asked, why don't we have more ridership on our buses? We have 10.3 million passengers. Why don't we have more? Because we had sprawl. We don't have the density to support the level of housing that we would have. And you know, like I said, I'm all for the freeways. But can you imagine if that measure would have been 50-50? We wouldn't be having these heated debates today. And then the thing I do want to say, buddy, I'm open on negotiating on the 80-20 or whatever it is. The 2022 measure that we took before the voters was 78-22. And you know, miles versus population. But the reason we did that was because historically it's been road miles over population. And this was our opportunity to put it back to where it needed to be, to where the cities with population could finally fix their roads. And in terms of the regional dollars, many of the roads that are being talked about right now are roads that are under county control. And the county has, what, 14% of the population in Fresno County. Historically, the money that they've gotten out of Measure C has been far greater than that. And so 86% of the population in Fresno County is incorporated. That's all of the people sitting at this table, right? From Huron to Fresno to Clovis. So 86% of the people here. And buddy, I'll just say this, and I said it yesterday to you on the phone. It would be my thought that since 86% of the population you guys represent as a county, that what's good for the city would be, cities would be good for the counties. Would be good for the county. And so, because the people that vote for the supervisors, I can tell you right now, the vast majority of the people that vote for Supervisor Chavez, Bredefield, Pacheco, and Magsic all live in the urban environment, the vast majority of the people.
Yes.
So I, again, want to just say, I think what's good for the cities is good for the county.
Thank you.
I think we have any other comments? I just wanted to say something. Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
First, thank you for allowing me to speak. I just kind of want to first thank the steering committee for all the work they've done. Kind of looking at this, you know, they were presented with two choices from what I see on the slide here, a high priorities proposal and then a proportional proposal. And I kind of wish they chose a different name than high priorities proposal because as we learned in all the discussion, it's my priority is different from your priority and other priorities. So that's kind of something I would have changed. But my community, my city is Sanger, you know, born and raised, live in Sanger. I've seen the changes regarding regional connectivity and our local roads. So I bring that perspective here to this dais on this side. Whereas the steering committee, I don't know if there are any Sanger members or lifetime Sanger people, but basically, you know, public transportation may not be as much of a priority for the city of Sanger as it is for regional connectivity. You know, my community is able to go to Fresno State College, Region College, you know, based on the benefits and the improvements contributed by the Measure C with regional connectivity. So, with that being said, it's such a glaring, you know, reduction when you take into account the high priorities proposal to what's currently going on. But they're also presented with a proportional proposal, which granted it reduces the existing neighborhood roads percentage, but it brings up the regional connectivity. And I'm kind of, from what we've discussed here, it seems like regional connectivity is kind of important to a lot of us here. I'm curious why that measure didn't really gain any traction, because it seems like high priorities proposal was voted on overwhelmingly. Can someone give me some insight on why they were so opposed to the proportional proposal?
I think I can address that, Councilmember. Thank you for the question, and yeah, I do want to take a moment as well to thank thank you for mentioning the work that our steering committee has done, and our facilitator, Mark Kepler. We're very appreciative. They've really stuck it through on this. As you can imagine, this has been an arduous process. To answer your question, the proportional proposal was based on, again, on the votes. Both of these proposals, the basis of it was an initial vote that the steering committee took back in September and used medians as kind of the baseline for each category. That vote in September the poll did not equal 100, which is very common when you're working with median numbers. And so, you know, there would be a million different ways to address that mathematically. And so in order to try and simplify this, we brought forward two proposals. One was very mathematically consistent in our minds, which was simply to allocate using a median factor the remaining 9% that was on the table. The other way was what we determined to be the high priorities proposal, which was taking all of the input that we had received from all the sources I mentioned in the staff report